The day his white moonlight returned, my husband threw a check at me, 1 million, for the divorce. In my past life, I thought he was insulting me, so I tore up the check and left with nothing. This time, I held up 5 fingers. 100 million, a penny less would be disrespectful to true love. Fu Yun's face darkened. Su Qingqing, don't be too greedy, I immediately said to Lin Shuang, who was standing beside him. Sister Shuang, this man is not worth it, he won't even spare a billion. He must think you're not worth that price. Lin Shuang shot me a glare, then looked at Fu Yun with resentment. Fu Yun, who cared about his reputation, glared at me and said fiercely, fine, 1 billion, but we'll divorce only after the company secures the project. During this time, you must not do anything that damages my reputation. I vaguely remember there was a project in my previous life that was directly related to the group's future development, and Fu Yun took it very seriously. I nodded to show my understanding and spread my fingers again. Add another 100 million. Fu Yun's veins were throbbing on his forehead. Su Qingqing, have you no shame at all? Lin Shuang chimed in. Su Qingqing, one should know their own worth. Do you really deserve that price? I exclaimed in shock. What, Sister Shuang, are you saying the title of Mrs. Fu isn't worth 2 billion? As for face, did President Fu and Sister Shuang care about it when they were getting all cozy and intimate? Both of their faces turned green with suppressed anger in their eyes. Oh, don't be shy, I get it. Dry wood meets a raging fire. Don't worry, once the money's in place, I'll be your love bodyguard right away. Fu Yun was furious. Su Qingqing, where's your backbone? For money, you'd even give up your dignity and self-respect. I was wrong about you back then. I thought you had an unyielding pride. Different from those women after my money, you're just like them. The difference in family backgrounds between me and Fu Yun is enormous. Everyone says I'm not good enough for him, calling me a scheming gold digger who's only after his money. To prove my integrity and save face, aside from necessary living expenses, I resolutely refused to take a single cent from Fu Yun and never asked to buy luxury items. Even though I married a CEO, I still struggled through a job with a monthly salary of 3,000. Looking back now, I was the biggest fool in the world. I scratched my ear and said, President Fu, the money will be in your account tomorrow, not a penny less. With that, I pulled a box of Huiyuan Shenbao tablets from my bag and handed it to Lin Shuang. Shuang Jia, it's good for him, and it's good for you too. It's hilarious. A young CEO who needs to boost his kidney function at such a tender age, who would even want him? Me, an orphan with no background whatsoever, only managed to marry Fu Yun thanks to my face, which bears an uncanny resemblance to Lin Shuang's, but I was unaware, thinking it was Cinderella's true love finally arriving. It wasn't until Lin Shuang returned from abroad, stormed into my home, slapped me across the face, and stepped on my fingers, saying, You fake, how dare you stand beside Fu Yun? Only then did I realize I had been someone else's substitute for 3 years, 3 years ago. Lin Shuang refused to marry and ran off abroad in a fit of anger with Fu Yun. In a rage, Fu Yun found me, a substitute, to marry, all to spite Lin Shuang. They were playing a game of pride, but I gave my true heart. I refused to divorce, trying every way to save our marriage, lowering myself in every manner, begging Fu Yun to remember our 3 years of affection, not to divorce, not to abandon me. Who would have thought he would toss me a check, saying, We were once husband and wife. Don't make this too difficult for me. With your current salary, it would take you over 30 years without eating or drinking to save up 1 million. I've been very good to you. I refused to accept it, crying and saying he was insulting my character and my love for him. Lin Shuang rolled her eyes. You're clearly after A Yun's money. Stop pretending to be innocent. With reddened eyes, I said to Fu Yun, A Yun, I truly love you. I'll prove it to you. I tore up the check and left with nothing. To make a living, I work during the day and deliver food at night. In the end, because of an order with an extra 5 yuan delivery fee, I was driving while exhausted and was instantly hit and thrown by a large truck. After death, my soul drifted to Fu Yun's side. I wanted to see if Fu Yun would feel remorse and weep bitterly for me upon learning the cause of my death. After all, I was such a kind and pure little white flower. Not after his money, only loving him for who he was, unfortunately. I thought too much. My death only earned him a 10-second pause. Then he closed his phone and took Lin Shuang to the evening banquet. I was so angry that my soul died a second time. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself reborn on the day he asked for a divorce. Fine, if you don't care for the pure, innocent little flower. Then I'll show you just how greedy I can be for money. Early the next morning, I received a notification of the deposit, but as soon as I saw the amount, my face immediately fell. It was only 5 million. I called Fu Yun and asked him what he meant by this. Fu Yun said, "What if you don't keep your word and ruin my reputation after taking the money? Su Qingqing, this project is crucial. I'll meet your demands, and you understand my concerns." "Okay, alright, I understand." "Okay, then Mr. Fu, please write me an IOU, specifying the repayment date. If it's overdue, interest will be charged at the bank loan rate." There was silence on the other end. After a long pause, Fu Yun finally said, "Qingqing, when did we become so distant? You used to call me A Yun." "Alright, A Yun, write me an IOU then, and make sure to note the repayment date. If you miss the deadline, you'll have to pay interest at the bank loan rate." The breathing on the other end noticeably quickened. Finally, Fu Yun gritted his teeth and said, "Su Qingqing, don't go too far." "Oh my, Mr. Fu, you're not thinking of reneging on the debt, are you?" "I recorded our conversation from yesterday. You know, actually, having an affair during marriage isn't that big of a deal. It's just that if others find out, Mr. Fu would have to take kidney-boosting supplements at such a young age." "Oh dear," Fu Yun angrily snapped. "Shut up, I'll give you the IOU later." He hung up the phone in a huff. I feel so relieved. How come I never realized in my past life that he was such a cunning man? Indeed, what kind of decent man would marry a substitute? Trying to play the emotional card to swindle my money, dream on. 3 days passed, and the IOU still hadn't arrived. I couldn't wait any longer and went straight to the company to find him. As luck would have it, Lin Shuang was also in his office. With 3 buttons of her white shirt undone, she was sitting on the desk, her arms wrapped around Fu Yun's neck. To be honest, when I pushed the door open, I was the one who felt even more awkward. "Oh, that door wasn't locked properly, so I just came right in. In that case, I'll come back after you're done. Don't rush, Mr. Fu, take your time. I can wait." I quickly backed out, considerately pulling the door shut for them. 5 minutes later, Lin Shuang walked out with a heavy air of resentment, shot me a sharp glare, and warned me in a low voice, "Su Qingqing, Fu Yun is mine, you can't take him back." I immediately grabbed her and started crying. "Sister Shuang, you've got it all wrong. I want to leave. But Fu Yun won't let me. I'm scared too. What if he changes his mind and refuses to let me go? Sister Shuang, please, I beg you, talk to him and let me take the money and leave." I cried as I spoke, taking the chance to wipe my nose on her expensive fur coat. Lin Shuang's face turned livid. You, get away from me." "Fine, I'll leave. At least I managed to disgust her. I've figured it out. Instead of seeking revenge and clashing with her, I might as well go crazy and drive her to the brink." In the office, Fu Yun's expression was grim, with dark circles under his eyes. I couldn't help but remind him, "Mr. Fu, you need to take your kidney tonic pills on time." Fu Yun's expression darkened even more, a hint of anger flashing in his eyes. "What are you doing at the company? I'm here to get a written agreement from you. Su Qingqing, don't push your luck. Do you really think I'd run away?" I said earnestly. "Mr. Fu, originally I wasn't worried, but seeing you like this now." Sigh. "A man's lifetime supply of that is limited. Mr. Fu, you need to exercise restraint." Fu Yun angrily slammed the table. "Get out." I pointed to the ground. "Roll out like a ball." "Alright." I curled up and rolled to the door, then rolled back, grinning as I said, "Mr. Fu, are you satisfied? If so, please write the IOU. Thank you. If you're not satisfied, I'll go roll around outside a couple more times." One must endure the bitterest of hardships to rise above others. As I walked out of the company building, looking at the IOU in my hand, I felt all the suffering was worth it. The madness method is truly wonderful. Half a month later, at the group's 10th anniversary celebration, Fu Yun asked me to accompany him. I agreed readily. Sure, but the clothes, shoes, jewelry, and small expenses like facial and foot care for the banquet, those are on Mr. Fu, right? They count as normal work expenses. In my past life, I was always afraid people would call me materialistic, so I never dared to dress up properly. Every time I accompanied him to events, I just aimed not to make mistakes, never to stand out. Now it's different. Since we're getting divorced anyway, someone else is paying, so buy what you should buy, and enjoy what you can while you can. Enjoying alone isn't fun, so I made a call and invited my best friend, Yang Jiu, my Ajio, the person I wronged the most in my past life. Ajio is also an orphan. We grew up together in the orphanage and are each other's closest family in this world. When I told Ajio I was getting a divorce, she went all out to help me plan, even hiring a private detective to gather evidence of Fu Yun's infidelity during our marriage, hoping to secure as many rights for me as possible. But I turned around and handed all that evidence over to Fu Yun, just to prove to him that I loved him, that even with proof, I couldn't bear to ruin him. Deep down, I hoped Fu Yun would be shocked, moved, have a sudden awakening, and beg me to get back together, playing out the kind of heart-wrenching, wife-chasing, crematorium-level drama. Well, he did chase me, with a stick, trying to beat me out of the house. Because of this, Ajul was resented by Fu Yun and lost her job. Ajul called me stupid, called me a love-struck fool, said I deserved to be dumped by Fu Yun. I was so angry I yelled at her, asking if it was wrong to truly love someone. We parted on bad terms and never contacted each other again until my death. But when I got into a car accident, it was Ajul who first appeared to collect my body, cremate me, and bury me that day. I was right beside her, listening as she burned paper offerings while crying and cursing me for being love-brained. By the end, she was sobbing uncontrollably, choking out the words, "Ching Ching, come back, I'll never scold you again." Later, to help me get justice, Ajul exposed Fu Yun's marital affair with Lin Shuang online, fiercely denouncing Lin Shuang, who wanted to enter the entertainment industry, as a homewrecker. She also filed a real name report against the Fu group for tax evasion, causing their stock to plummet. Fu Yun hated Ajio so much that he bribed someone to kidnap her to a remote area and ruin her innocence. With no one to turn to for help and in unbearable pain, Ajio drove a car and killed both Fu Yun and Lin Shuang, then turned herself in and went to prison. Ajio, it was all my fault, don't worry, this time I won't let you down. Upon learning that I planned to use Fu Yun's money to take her shopping, Ajio was so frightened that she wanted to take me to see a master to check if I had been possessed. In the past, I had to save 2 months' salary just to buy Ajio a gold bracelet worth several thousand as a birthday gift. Looking at the supplementary card in my hand, I sighed with emotion. I was young and foolish back then, but now I've come to my senses. Ajio hugged me, crying tears of joy. I finally have a rich best friend. Spend it. That scumbag used you as a replacement. My Ching Ching's youth is far more precious than the few coins in his pocket. That afternoon, we treated money like dirt. We smashed it, however looked good, however felt comfortable. It was truly exhilarating, but unexpectedly, we ran into Lin Shuang, seeing Ajio and me carrying bags big and small. Lin Shuang looked at us with disdain. Sure enough, you were only after Brother Yun's money from the start, a gold digger, not only greedy for wealth, but also playing the philanthropist. Su Qingqing, Brother Yun doesn't earn money easily. Did he agree to let you spend his money buying things for every Tom, Dick, and Harry? What, are you really treating Brother Yun as a cash cow and a sucker? Go, return those things for me, Ajio retorted. Oh, the legitimate wife isn't even qualified. So who is? You, the mistress. Let me see what you bought. As she spoke, Ajio reached for the bag in Lin Shuang's hand, and a black card fell out, with Fu Yun's signature on the back. Oh my, a diamond watch, worth over $1 million. Ching Ching, call the police quickly. This was bought with your marital assets. Lin Shuang angrily pushed Ajio away. Who's the mistress? The one who isn't loved is the mistress. Brother Yun has already made things clear with her, so why should she spend Brother Yun's money? Ajio was about to argue with her again. I grabbed Ajio, slapped myself hard across the face, and knelt down crying. Sister Shuang Shuang, I was wrong. As a wife, how could I spend my husband's money? My husband's money should all be reserved for Sister Shuang Shuang to spend. I am guilty. I don't deserve to live. I'm going to die right now. I raised my voice, instantly drawing the attention of everyone around. Ajio, true to being my best friend, was momentarily stunned but didn't let her acting skills falter. There's no justice in this world. A wife spending her husband's money actually gets scolded by the mistress. Is this a moral decline or a distortion of human nature? The onlookers quickly gathered to watch the drama unfold, with some even pulling out their phones to record the scene. It's hilarious. Fu Yun only said his reputation couldn't be tarnished, but he never said Lin Shuang's couldn't. Anyway, we're both barefaced and in sportswear now. Once we put on makeup tomorrow, who would even recognize us? But Lin Shuang is different. Her exquisite outfit makes her easily recognizable. Sure enough, Lin Shuang was so frightened that she immediately picked up her card and fled, not even noticing that she had dropped several handbags. I quickly ran over to pick them up. Hee, brand new and authentic. They'll be easy to sell. Turning my head, I noticed a Jiu still staring at me in a daze. Oh no, did my craziness scare a Jiu? I won't act crazy anymore in the future. A Jiu snapped back to reality, shaking her head vigorously, her eyes sparkling. No, Ching, I absolutely love it when you go crazy. As I expected, Fu Yun called in the evening to demand an explanation, blaming me for causing a scene at the mall. I took a photo of myself lying in the hospital bed and sent it to him, saying weakly and pitifully, Fu Yun, I swear to heaven, in the 3 years we've been married, have I ever asked you for a single luxury item? Have I ever bought a single Chanel piece? Today, Sister Shuang came right up and called me a gold digger, accused me of being after your money. I can't go on, heaven knows, it's you I love. I've been so frightened, I might not be able to leave the hospital anytime soon. Fu Yun was a bit annoyed. Then what about the anniversary celebration? I coughed a few times and said with difficulty, surely you don't expect me to attend while I'm sick, Mr. Fu. What if I get delirious and start talking nonsense? Why not let Sister Shuang go instead? She's prettier and more sensible than I am. Cough, don't worry about what others think. True love always wins. As soon as I finished speaking, I was about to hang up the phone. Another 5 million. Fu Yun gritted his teeth and said, accompany me to the anniversary celebration, and we'll divorce as soon as the project is finalized. I immediately perked up. So, will that 5 million be paid up front? You know my account details, right? Just mark it as a gift. Su Qingqing, you're ruthless. A few minutes later, 5 million yuan was deposited into my bank card. I posted on my social media, even being sick can't stop my passion for work. In the blink of an eye, the anniversary celebration arrived. As I descended the staircase in a custom-made evening gown, moving with deliberate grace, I noticed Fu Yun's gaze falter for a moment. Indeed, men are creatures who think with their lower halves. Now, I have moved out of his villa and am staying at a Jiu's place, counting the days. It's been over half a month since we last saw each other. In my past life, I was too busy brewing this kind of soup for him and never took the time to properly groom myself. But when I do dress up, as a Jiu puts it, my curvaceous figure is far superior to Lin Shuang's flat silhouette. I held Fu Yun's hand as we stepped onto the stage, smiling as I listened to him speak. Watching him gaze at me affectionately, playing the role of the perfect husband with deep emotion, for a moment, I remembered the happy times we had when we first started dating. Back then, he would cook porridge for me when I had gastroenteritis. He would spend an entire afternoon doing crafts with me on my birthday. He would also blush and tell me, I love you, at the turn of the year. My relationship with him has never been about money. That's precisely why I was certain he treated me with genuine sincerity, not just as a rich young man's casual fling. Unfortunately, all that beauty was like the moon reflected in water. His true moon was in the sky. It doesn't matter. He looks up at his bright moon, while I keep my head down, picking up my banknotes. After the speech ended, everyone was free to mingle. Fu Yun pulled me into a small room. Su Qingqing, go home tonight. 3 years of marriage have fostered a certain understanding between them. Seeing him so impatient, could it be that Lin Shuang isn't satisfying her? Does Mr. Fu still want me? Fu Yun nodded with a stern face. Fine, 5 million for one night. Fu Yun trembled with anger. Su Qingqing, have you really lost all sense of shame? 5 million for one night. What do you think you are? We are husband and wife. It's only natural. That comment made my blood pressure skyrocket. Mr. Fu. You know as well as I do, why should a wife unconditionally and freely meet all your needs? What have you given me? A betrothal gift, a car, a house. You haven't given me any of those. All you've given me is a marriage certificate that could become invalid at any moment. Thinking about it this way, what does being Mrs. Fu even mean to me? Fu Yun's face turned livid with anger, and he spat out 3 fine in a row. Su Qingqing. If it weren't for your resemblance to Shuang, do you think I'd care for a woman like you? I gave you a chance, and it's your fault for not cherishing it. Don't you ever think of touching me again in this lifetime? Wow, I must have really burned some high incense. I clasped my hands together piously. Finally, I don't have to serve men who need kidney tonics anymore. Fu Yun was utterly defeated, his face darkening as he stormed off in a rage, after dealing with some of the ladies. I found a quiet corner by the pool to relax. A shawl suddenly fell down. I turned my head and a handsome face came into view. Sister, be careful not to catch a chill. Huh, I smell a conspiracy. Sure enough, after adding me on WeChat, this boy named Ji Dong started sending me messages every now and then. He doesn't say much, mostly just good morning and good night. And sometimes he sends photos of his outfits to ask for my opinion, but he really enjoys posting on his social media. For example, a picture of airplane trails in the sky with the caption, "I wonder what my sister is doing right now," or a photo of a garden full of roses with the caption, "Even a whole garden of beauty can't compare to the glance my sister gave me," or a hazy shot of the moon with the caption, "If I could admire the moon with my sister, I'd probably be grinning like a fool." Finally, on my birthday, he called me and cautiously asked if he could take me out to dinner. This request was abrupt, not in line with his reserved, youthful demeanor, but I agreed. We arranged to meet at the garden club. The sun was warm, and he wore a white shirt. The breeze ruffled the stray hairs on his forehead as he stood in the sunlight, smiling and waving to me. It made me think inexplicably of Fu Yun from back then. "Happy birthday, sister." He handed me a bouquet of flowers. I was a bit surprised. "How did you know today is my birthday?" He smiled mysteriously. "Because you're always on my mind, sister." I smiled without a word and took the flowers from him. His warm fingertips brushed lightly, almost imperceptibly, against the back of my hand. Seeing that I didn't resist, he grew bolder and poured 2 glasses of red wine. "May my sister stay forever young, healthy, and happy." I took the wine glass, swirled it gently, and laughed at myself, saying, "I never thought anyone would still remember my birthday." "Are you unhappy, sister?" he said with concern. "Can you tell me about it? I don't want to see you sad." I hesitated, then sighed. "Ah, a marriage in a wealthy family. It's not something that can be explained in just a few words." He fell silent for a moment, then flashed a big smile. "Sister, it's okay, I'm here with you." Adong knows that the CEO's wife may seem glamorous, but she actually works very hard. At the banquet that day, I saw my sister's weary shoulders and couldn't help but feel the urge to shield her from the wind and rain. I know this is unreasonable, and I know I can't compare to President Fu. I don't seek status, nor do I dare to think about a long-term future. I just want to stay by my sister's side, be her little dog, and make her happy. My eyes flickered. "Shield me from the wind and rain." "Really?" He raised 3 fingers. "I swear. Truer than the truth." "Then transfer me 1 million first." "Sister, I'm quite frugal. 1 million a month will do." Adong's bright smile suddenly cracked on his face, as if struck by lightning. "Sister, why must you break my heart like this? I don't have 1 million, but I have a heart that loves you and is willing to fight for you. But just because it's not there now doesn't mean it won't be in the future. I'll prove to my sister that I can support you. When that time comes, will I have the right to call you Ching Ching, sister? Let's toast to our tomorrow. Wish me luck." I put down the wine glass and covered my face, weeping bitterly. "Adong, I'm so moved. I've lost my composure. Please turn around for a moment." He stepped forward. "My shoulder is here for you to lean on, sister." I shook my head. "No, please leave me a little dignity. I never thought I would encounter true love again in this lifetime. Let me cry, just for a minute, please." Unable to resist my plea, Ji Dong turned his back. A minute later, I asked him to turn around, then picked up the wine glass with tears glistening in the corners of my eyes. "Dong, to our wonderful tomorrow. Cheers." Seeing me drink, Ji Dong's eyes lit up, his gaze strikingly similar to how I look at a pile of cash. After downing the glass, I felt dizzy and slumped to one side. Ji Dong quickly caught me and whispered in my ear, "Is my sister feeling dizzy? There's a bed inside. Let me help you go rest for a while," though his tone seemed like a question. His actions showed no hesitation at all. After tossing me onto the bed, he directly took a camera from the cabinet and aimed it at me. I showed no panic at all, lying on the bed and saying softly, "Ah Dong, you're playing quite wildly, aren't you? Aren't you afraid?" "Sister, afraid of what?" I said, resting my head on my hand. "Since we're already here, how could we possibly avoid that kind of thing? You better take good care of me." "I'm not sure if you're up to it." Ji Dong was flustered. Aren't you afraid that Mr. Fu will find out?" "So what if he knows? He's not up to the task, so why shouldn't I find someone else?" you know how it is with wealthy couples. Alright, Adong, stop pretending, you're just after my body and my money, aren't you? Don't worry, I'm short on people around me, do a good job, and if you perform well, I'll reward you. But looking at your skinny, not so capable appearance, you're not worth much, 500 a night, how about that, strip? Let me check the goods first, see if it's worth 500, Ji Dong's face visibly darkened. Finally, when I questioned whether he was worth 500, he lost his temper. Sis, you're really pushing it too far. I charge a minimum of 100,000 to go into business. For this deal, Mr. Fu gave me 1 million, and you think 500 will do? Dream on. What? I exclaimed in shock. Fu Yun actually gave you 1 million. Is he crazy? Are you even worth 1 million? I don't believe it. That's absolutely impossible. Fu Yun wouldn't have such poor judgment. You must be lying to me, you're not worth it. You're just bragging. Who's bragging? I'll show you the transfer record, Mr. Fu sent me. Humph. Ji Dong shoved his phone right in front of me, his emotions running high. Open your eyes wide and see clearly. I'm worth 1 million, young master. Oh my god. Fu Yun actually gave you 1 million. What did he give you so much for? Of course. Let me guide you into having an affair while you're married. Ji Dong suddenly covered his mouth. His expression panicked. You were supposed to be drugged. How can you still be tricking me into talking? I gave a charming smile. Because you're foolish, of course. His trick of pouring wine behind my back and secretly adding the powder hidden in his sleeve into the wine. Did he really think he could fool me? He thought that celebrating my birthday would move me. Are you kidding? Someone like me, who's neither a love-struck fool nor a saint, would only suspect he has ulterior motives. I dropped the cup as a signal. The next second, Ajio barged in, clutching a beer bottle. Ji Dong was tied to a chair by me and Ajio. Under Ajio's threat of a headshot, he confessed the whole story. As I suspected, he was sent by Fu Yun to lead me into making a mistake, so that after the cooperation was finalized, they could accuse me of marital infidelity and force me to leave with nothing. In the face of solid evidence, even if I released the previous recording or produced the IOU written by Fu Yun, they could still insist that I had forged them. I was so furious I could feel the fire rising. I knew Fu Yun was a scumbag, but I never expected him to be so shameless. After all, I was his wife who had shared a bed with him for 3 years. To avoid giving me money, he actually hired someone to harm me. I was so angry. If I had known earlier, I would have agreed to him that night and cut off his little brother while he was asleep. Ajio suggested calling the police, but I stopped him. With Fu Yun's connections, reporting this to the police would be futile. Just like when Ajio called the police in vain in the previous life, I tapped the trembling Ji Dong with the wine bottle. Hey, Xiao Ji, want to earn 2 million? Ji Dong's eyes lit up immediately. Is there such a good thing? Do I have to be a traitor? Kid, you're quite enlightened. I nodded. Help me fool Fu Yun, make him think I've fallen for the trap, in the name of our date. Get money from him, we'll split whatever we get 50-50, and I'll give you another 1 million afterwards. I shook my phone. Don't try any tricks. I've recorded your confession. Reporting to the police might not catch Fu Yun, but catching you is as easy as saying a word. What are you talking about? Ji Dong suddenly spoke with righteous indignation. How could I ever have a problem with my dad? Right in front of me, Ji Dong sent Fu Yun a few photos of me lying in bed. To keep up the act, I hid at Ajio's place for the next few days without going out. Meanwhile, Ji Dong would unfailingly show up every day, holding a bouquet of flowers, gazing up at the building from downstairs. Finally, on a stormy night, I went downstairs with an umbrella and brought the drenched Ji Dong upstairs. The next day, we set off on a trip to Europe together, with Ajio, wearing oversized sunglasses, following behind us. Of course, every day, Ji Dong would report our whereabouts to Fu Yun, sending photos and videos of us holding hands, and casually asking Fu Yun for travel funds. Fu Yun stingily gave us 500,000, telling us to go to places with fewer people and lower costs. The reason was that he was afraid we would draw too much attention and expose my identity. The project is finalized, and I, as Mrs. Fu, cannot afford to be caught in a scandal. Alright, 500,000 is a bit on the low side, but it should just about cover our expenses. A month passed in the blink of an eye, and the project collaboration plan was settled. I saw Fu Yun's interview on Financial News, discussing matters related to the project. In no time, the project was confirmed. When Fu Yun called to ask me to return, the three of us were on the island enjoying the sunshine, the beach, and well-toned abs. Upon hearing this, we promptly made our way back. In wealthy families, aside from having plenty of money, there are also plenty of banquets, and so, to celebrate the successful project collaboration, Fu Yun threw a victory banquet. All those attending the banquet were his relatives, close friends, and key project partners. As soon as they saw me, Fu Yun's relatives and friends each showed expressions of disgust, as if I were some kind of biochemical waste. In my past life, Fu Yun married me despite his family's opposition, and I felt deeply guilty toward him, doing everything I could to integrate into his family environment. Although I had no money, I had a sincere heart. I wanted to win them over with love and kindness, to make them accept me. Fu Yun's mother contracted a certain type of pneumonia, and even the nanny kept her distance, afraid of being infected. Only I stayed by her bedside day and night, caring for her until she recovered. But after she recovered, she only said coldly, "Clumsy and inept, not even as good as the maid who cleans the toilets at home." At the time, I was deeply upset by this and kept reflecting on whether I had done something wrong. Yet not long after, Fu Yun's mother called and asked me to go take care of his sick aunt. I happily agreed, thinking this was their recognition and acceptance of me, until I accidentally overheard Fu Yun's aunt talking to his mother on the phone. Just think of it as keeping an obedient dog. Whoever a Yun likes, he can keep them outside. Let's keep this punching bag for now. It's not like we can't afford one more mouth to feed. Dog, punching bag, make do, enough food. So in their eyes, I don't even count as a person. No wonder they didn't oppose me and Fu Yun later. They only saw me as a pet. Alright, today I'll let you see the power of a cute pet throwing a tantrum. Lin Shuang also came, bringing gifts for everyone present. With me, the dog's tail, as a control group. The well-matched Lin Shuang naturally made the elders even happier. Fu Yun's mother pretended to pat Lin Shuang a few times, scolding, "You heartless child. How could you bear to leave us and go abroad all by yourself? If you hadn't run away back then, your child with a Yun would be 3 years old now." Lin Shuang deliberately gave me a panicked glance. "Auntie, please don't say that. Qingqing will be upset. What happened between me and a Yun isn't anyone else's fault. It's just that Shuang wasn't blessed with good fortune. Seeing brother a Yun doing well is all Shuang needs." Fu Yun's mother glanced at me, and seeing me busy eating and drinking, she grew even angrier. 3 years have passed, and there's still no sign of life in her belly. What a useless thing. Eat, eat, eat. Is that all you know how to do? Were you a starving ghost in your past life? I quickly stuffed the last bite of cake into my mouth, grinned at her, and sprayed out a mouthful of cake crumbs. Fu Yun's mother immediately covered her mouth and turned her head away, as if she had seen something disgusting. Hee. I successfully grossed her out. The banquet began. After Fu Yun delivered his speech, he announced that he would play a video about the future of the project for everyone to watch, so they could look forward to the future together. I led the applause from below. Lin Shuang gave me a mocking glance and said in a voice only the two of us could hear, "Su Qingqing, you're done for." As I expected, the project video had been replaced. On the screen were photos of me in disheveled clothes, pictures of me bringing a man upstairs on a rainy day, and a video of me playfully wrestling with that man on the beach in a bikini. The entire room was stunned. Fu Yun was the first to snap out of it. He turned off the video and said angrily, "Who is it? Who synthesized these photos to slander my wife? This bastard." Still trying to downplay it before making a big deal out of it. Soon, a professional team arrived. After testing, it was confirmed that those photos and videos were unedited originals, meaning no one had slandered me. I was the one who had cheated. Those who had been standing beside me immediately stepped back, keeping a distance of 3 meters from me, their expressions filled with disdain. Fu Yun clutched his chest, his voice pained as he questioned me. "Qingqing, I loved you so much. Why did you betray me? Was there something about me that wasn't good enough? Tell me, and I can change." What a perfect portrayal of a deeply devoted, domineering CEO. In this way, whether he gets divorced or remarries, others will only sympathize with him and wish him well, all of which will become a boost to his career. I looked up at him, unable to imagine that behind his current fragile and helpless appearance, such sinister thoughts were hidden in his heart. Suddenly, I remembered that rainy night 3 years ago, when he stood downstairs at my house, begging me to be his girlfriend. His eyes were just as fragile and helpless, making my heart soften instantly, letting down my guard, and allowing myself to believe him. To believe in a CEO romance novel for once. Unfortunately, my kindness and soft-heartedness were ultimately wasted on the wrong person. Thinking of my tragic death in my previous life and the despair of a Joe being bullied with nowhere to turn. My heart grew completely cold. Ayun, wake up. This woman isn't worth your devotion. Ayun, divorce her and kick her out of the Fu family. Someone from a poor mountain village. Marrying Ayun was a blessing from your ancestors. How dare you betray him? I'll beat you to death. Fu Yun's cousin lunged forward and kicked at me. Fu Yun immediately wrapped his arms around me, and the kick landed squarely on his back. This was no small matter. Everyone felt Fu Yun had been wronged. Cursing me as an ungrateful wretch and a scheming bitch on his behalf, Fu Yun's mother was so furious that she cursed him for being a fool. Lin Shuang's eyes were red from crying. Qingqing, brother Yun is so good to you, how could you bear to hurt him? Did you cheat on him just to spite Yun because I came back? Is that it? Brother Yun and I grew up together, and since I returned, he did help me with a small favor. But that was just a bit of friendship between friends. Brother Yun and I have always been completely innocent. If Qingqing, you truly hate me, then I'll leave right now. I only ask that you treat brother Yun well. I've hurt him once before, and I beg you not to hurt him again. Okay, many people present knew that Fu Yun and Lin Shuang had once been in a relationship. Hearing Lin Shuang's words, they felt even more intense hatred toward me. Fu Yun's cousin shouted, Shuang, if anyone should leave, it's her. You and Yun were meant to be together from the start. If it weren't for that wretched woman threatening Yun back then, how could he have married her? Ayun, divorce her. Our Fu family absolutely cannot accept such a person with a tarnished character. My cousin's words were met with unanimous support, everyone shouting for Fu Yun to divorce me. Fu Yun shielded me behind him, saying in anguish, everyone, please don't hurt Qingqing. It's my fault that things have come to this point. Qingqing, I'm the one who's sorry. I shouldn't have forced you to marry me back then. If freedom is what you desire, I'll let you go. Let's get a divorce. Phew, I finally said the line. Honestly, watching them act is exhausting. I nodded calmly. So, will the assets still be divided with me? Su Qingqing, you cheated during the marriage and still want a share of the assets. You're dreaming. My cousin-in-law exploded in anger. Aunt, we absolutely cannot let a woman like this take even a penny from our Fu family. Su Qingqing, we're already sparing your miserable life, and you still dare to ask for money. My cousin-in-law's brother chimed in, cursing as well. I've truly had enough of these two. Ever since I entered the Fu family, they've been targeting me, as if I've been eating their rice all along. Are you two not tired of this? How I divide Fu Yun's assets is none of your damn business. What? Do you want to become Fu Yun's children and get a share of his property? Mind your own messy business. You're always meddling in this family's affairs and that family's affairs. Who do you think you are? I never expected to talk back, and my cousins were so angry they wanted to hit me, but Fu Yun shielded me, and they couldn't land a blow. Qingqing, I'll give you the money, Fu Yun said with a weary expression. 5 million. Enough for you to live on for a lifetime. I shook my finger. No. 200 million, not a penny less. 200 million. Everyone in the room gasped in shock. The hall erupted into another round of cursing and grumbling, but it didn't matter. After all, they just kept repeating the same lines, calling me greedy, materialistic, an ungrateful wretch, and so on. Talking about morality in the circles of the wealthy is simply laughable. The most immoral people in this world are those who hold assets. Thinking they can manipulate the world and control the lives of ordinary people. Fu Yun, I'm asking you one last time, will you give me the 200 million? I asked seriously. Fu Yun turned his back to the others, and from an angle they couldn't see, he fixed me with a threatening gaze. Qingqing, if you commit adultery during our marriage and take it to court, you won't even get 5 million. Our eyes met, his gaze brimming with confidence. Good, I clapped. Mr. Fu, your social death package has been delivered. Please check it. I smashed the cup. The darkened screen lit up again with a bright spot. On the screen, Ji Dong, tied to a chair, confessed all the details of how he was bribed by Fu Yun to drug me. Dong cried pitifully. I was originally a well-behaved duck. It was President Fu who gave me $1 million to seduce you, sister, in order to create evidence of your infidelity during the marriage, so that you would leave with nothing, not a single penny. Woo-woo, sister, please let me go. I heard that President Fu relies on kidney-boosting pills to perform, but I'm young, sister, with just a word from you, I can satisfy you right away. After the video, the recording from the day I caught Fu Yun with Lin Shuang immediately followed. The recording clearly stated that Fu Yun and Lin Shuang were the ones who got intimate first. And then he promised me 200 million to help him maintain his good man image. With plans to divorce after securing the project, kidney tonic pills made another appearance. Finally, there was the recording from when I went to him to write the IOU. Kidney tonic pills went completely viral. Such a plot twist truly left everyone on the scene stunned, jaws dropping in disbelief. Fu Yun woke as if from a dream and hurriedly ordered someone to turn off the screen. Hey! But his men were held back by the bodyguards that Zhu had arranged in advance. Su Qingqing, how dare you set me up? Fu Yun roared in fury. I shrugged and said innocently, President Fu, I just want to get my 200 million back. You're determined to embarrass yourself publicly, and I'm at a loss. Just then, the banquet hall door burst open. Fu Yun's assistant rushed in frantically. Boss Fu, something terrible has happened. Our company's stock has plummeted. 5 partners have announced they're cutting ties with us. Fu Yun has been having a really tough time lately. What happened at the banquet was originally only meant to spread within the wealthy circles. Who would have thought that Lin Shuang, that ruthless woman, in order to push me to the brink of death and make her own rise to power even smoother, had secretly arranged for someone to live-stream the banquet, when it was broadcast that I had cheated and then had the audacity to ask for 200 million. Netizens tore me apart, even digging up my ancestors whom I had never known, but who could have predicted that the situation would take a turn? Feeling deeply deceived, the netizens immediately turned their guns around and unleashed a barrage of criticism at Fu Yun. The incident quickly escalated. Several companies that had been cooperating with the Fu Group immediately announced the termination of their partnerships. The Fu Group's stock price plummeted. And angry shareholders gathered in front of the Fu Group building, holding banners and demanding an explanation. As for online, the hashtags #BossFu Kidney Tonic, hashtag is Boss Fu standing tall today, and hashtag Boss Fu Best Scheming Tycoon of the Year trended for a solid week. A film company seized the moment and released a short drama titled Boss Fu's Villainous Wife, which raked in over 100 million in revenue within 3 days of its release, as the biggest sponsor of the drama. A certain kidney tonic company saw its stock price skyrocket. As for me, well, just an ordinary film investor, I only pocketed a few tens of millions in profit sharing. Half a month later, due to a solid chain of evidence, the court ordered Fu Yun to compensate me for the 200 million yuan debt according to the IOU and pay me for emotional distress. When Fu Yun came to see me, his expression wasn't very good. Hey, the business world is brutal. How many competitors are just waiting for the Fu family to fall so they can take a bite out of them? And sure enough, without us even lifting a finger, all those hidden pieces of evidence started coming to light one by one. Tax evasion, asset transfers, shady businesses. The Fu family is really in for a tough time this round. Qingqing, I was wrong. Fu Yun grabbed my hand, his gaze fragile and shattered. Only after you left did I realize that I haven't liked Lin Shuang for a long time. The one I love is you. Give me another chance. Come back to me, please. I sneered. Do you like me, or do you like the 200 million in my hands? Fu Yun's face stiffened. Fu Yun, have you ever thought about it? If I hadn't been alert and seen through your plan, the one at a dead end now would be me. Would you have helped me? No, you would have just clinked glasses with Lin Shuang, celebrating your perfect plan and your love. So, why should I help you? What do you think you are? Fu Yun dropped the pretense, his eyes icy and furious. Su Qingqing, do you think having a bit of money can bring me down? I will rise again and make you die without a place to be buried. I wiped my hand with a towel where he had touched me, smiling as I said, I'll be watching. A month later, the Fu family group was liquidated, and it was said they could no longer recover. I once thought that a group like the Fu family was indestructible, something a mere mortal like me could only look up to. Before the law, they are nothing but worthless scum. Serves them right. One day, I went with Zhu to look at a luxury apartment, and from a distance, I could hear a man and a woman arguing loudly. Their voices sounded familiar, like old acquaintances. As I got closer, sure enough, it was them. Lin Shuang was pulling her suitcase, ready to leave. But Fu Yun refused to let her go. Fu Yun pleaded, Shuang, you said you would stay with me no matter what. Lin Shuang replied impatiently, wake up. Big brother, if I hadn't heard you were in power, why would I have come back from abroad where I was doing just fine? Fu Yun gritted his teeth. What do you mean, now that I'm broke, you want to break up? Lin Shuang, I ended up like this because of you, Lin Shuang. What else? Without the Fu family, what would I want from you? Honestly, it's really tough to act like you're enjoying it when you're actually feeling terrible. I don't know how Su Qingqing managed to endure it for the past 3 years. Lin Shuang, you bitch. Fu Yun slapped Lin Shuang across the face. The two of them began to tussle and fight. Seeing the situation turn sour, I quickly opened the video app and started a live stream. Zhou thoughtfully waited until the netizens had their fill of the spectacle before having the property security separate the two. Lin Shuang, with her disheveled hair, just wanted to flee. She even forgot our adversarial relationship and, seeing me as if I were a savior, ran over and said, 200 million is what you deserve. It's so frustrating, absolutely infuriating. I never want to see Shenbao tablets again in my life. Oh well, considering her mental state is a bit ahead of its time, I'll forgive her. Fu Yun had a bruise on his face, but when he saw me, he wore an arrogant expression. Su Qingqing, what are you doing here? Unless you beg me, I won't make up with you. Zhou rolled her eyes at him and pushed him aside. We're here to buy a house. Please move aside. The property guy gave an awkward smile. Mr. Fu, it was these two ladies who bought this large flat. In the end, Fu Yun sold the large flat that belonged to him and Lin Shuang with resentment, or else he would have had to pay me a penalty for breach of contract. Come to think of it, the money he used to buy this large flat was still our marital property. Oh well. Consider it as helping the less fortunate. After all, I'm not short of that amount now. As he signed his name on the contract, Fu Yun gritted his teeth and told me, I will definitely come back. I nodded vigorously. Next time you'll die even worse. I didn't bother with what happened to Fu Yun later. I heard he became a live-in son-in-law by selling his looks, after tasting the sweetness of short dramas. I simply invested in making them, becoming a small boss with a Zhou. And made money hand over fist. After being detained for 15 days, Ji Dong came to me, saying he wanted to be the male lead in a short drama, but I turned him down. Dong, the entertainment industry isn't a trash can where you can just dump any kind of scum. If someone like you can become an idol, what kind of example does that set for the people watching? If you can earn 2.08 million a day, how can you face those who work hard on the front lines? Ji Dong wept bitterly, swearing he would never be a male escort again or engage in money-grabbing schemes. I felt relieved and gave him 1 million. This was what I had promised him initially, and I am a person who keeps my word. As soon as he got the money, he stopped crying, but he walked away slowly, looking back every few steps. Finally, just as he was about to step over the threshold, he asked me, Sister, don't you always need a man by your side to warm you up? I looked out the window at Zhou, who was on the phone discussing a project. Her smile was brighter and warmer than the spring sunshine in March. I chuckled softly. Are men some kind of necessity, just a toy to add icing on the cake? After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. The first thing my mother did after marrying a big shot in the capital's elite circle was to spend billions in spirit money in front of my grave to make a private connection with the King of Hell. Please, King of Hell, let my daughter be reborn into my womb again. This time, I'll make sure she's born into a wealthy family, living a carefree life forever, all because in my previous life, I pushed myself relentlessly to pass the civil service exam, worked late nights, and died from overwork. My mother blamed herself endlessly for it. It's all my fault for not being capable, causing my daughter to be crushed by the harsh realities of the world. She vowed to work herself to the bone until she became a self-made wealthy first generation, so that we, mother and daughter, could be reunited. The King of Hell was moved by my mother's financial prowess and decided to personally send me back into her womb, but just before I was to be reborn, he suddenly leaned in mysteriously and said, Be careful when you're told to just lie flat. Your dad's white moonlight has a secret love child with him, and in the future, she'll harm your mom and take everything from you. I spat out a mouthful of mungpa soup. Lie flat, to protect the hard-won life of wealth and luxury. This overachiever is going to keep hustling right from my mom's womb. So later, when the secret love child came knocking to claim her family ties, I spat out the pacifier and directly issued commands in baby talk. Where did this liar come from? Drag her out of here right now. The bodyguard sprang into action instantly, taking only 2 seconds to tie up the illegitimate daughter. Tang Xian twitched at the corner of her mouth, utterly dumbfounded. I can take a paternity test. I really am Tang Lichuan's daughter. The bodyguards burst into laughter. The 50 imposters before you said the same thing, you fraud. At least come up with a new line. Tang Xian struggled fiercely, overwhelmed by confusion. What 50 imposters? I am the genuine, biological daughter. Offend me, and you'll regret it. Let me go see my father now. But the bodyguards only laughed even harder. Tang Xian had no idea that in my past life, I was the ultimate civil service exam champion. While other babies were still flailing about in amniotic fluid, I could already use baby talk to inform my mother, Mom, there's a secret daughter. Get her. Thanks to the King of Hell's reminder, we mother and daughter had long gathered 100 little girls who looked like the white moonlight. After unified training, the first imposter knelt at the Tang family's doorstep. Dad, I'm your long-lost biological daughter. Seeing the little girl's face that resembled his first love's, my father was overjoyed and immediately gifted her a box of gold bars. But his excitement didn't last more than 2 days before the paternity test results dealt him a harsh blow. How dare you have the audacity to deceive me? Not only was my mother not angry, but she also pretended to be magnanimous and comforted my father. Honey, if this child really exists, I will definitely take care of her as if she were my own daughter. My father was moved by my mother's tenderness and immediately transferred 50 million to her as pocket money. I seized the moment. Climbing onto his shoulder and cutely reminding him, Daddy, the liar wants to trick your little money. My dad's heart, which had been hurt by the fake goods, was instantly comforted by me, the real deal, only 1 year old and already knows so much. Our Yu is definitely a prodigy. I must nurture her well. My education fund was quietly established on this day. I silently curved the corner of my mouth. My father was born with weak sperm and never had children. My mother underwent 12 rounds of IVF before she finally conceived me. Since she fought so hard, I must not hold her back. Soon, the second and third imposters I had arranged also made their appearance. My father remained silent, only instructing the butler to take them for paternity tests. Back when I was preparing for the civil service exam, there was a strategy of tackling endless practice questions. Now, I have a strategy of deploying endless people. By the time the 30th one was arranged, the bodyguards had already become adept at tying people up and sending them away, without it ever reaching my father's ears. Seeing Tang Xian fail to claim her father as expected, my mother and I exchanged a knowing smile, for success truly belongs to those who are prepared, but we did not slack off. Instead, we remained vigilant, always keeping the King of Hell's warning in mind and continuing our strategy of overwhelming numbers, just as we had exhausted 100 imposters one after another. And I had grown to the age of 7 under the doting care of everyone in the Tang family. The adult Tang Xian appeared once again. This time, she broke through the defenses and confronted my father, holding the token of the white moonlight. Dad, I really am your biological daughter. She took out the photos of the white moonlight, handwritten letters, and the birth certificate one by one. Plus, she was already an adult. And the features between her eyebrows and eyes looked exactly like the white moonlight. My dad studied her for a few seconds, his eyes gradually welling up with tears. She definitely isn't a fraud. She and Wanru are practically identical, like 2 peas in a pod. My mother and I immediately went on high alert. Just as my father was about to lose control and rush over to acknowledge her, I took the lead and threw myself into Tang Xian's arms. Sister, you've finally appeared. Dad has been waiting for you so anxiously. Next, Dad might take you for a paternity test. Please don't be angry with him. He's just seen too many scammers. My understanding and kindness moved my father deeply. To have a daughter as wonderful as Yu is truly my blessing. I curled the corner of my mouth. The skill of reading people's expressions, which I had painstakingly studied in my previous life while preparing for the civil service exam, finally came in handy in this lifetime. Seeing my father's gratified smile, I put even more effort into showing my goodwill. Sister, you must have suffered a lot over the years, right? Sob, I feel so sorry for you, little sister. Every time Tang Xian tried to speak, I would pull her aside and chatter away non-stop. She wanted to sit next to my dad, so I deliberately squeezed myself between them, stealing my dad's attention. Finally, Tang Xian couldn't take it anymore and pushed me away angrily. Dad, actually, I came looking for you many years ago, but this Tang Yu didn't even ask and just called me a fraud. If it weren't for her meddling, we could have reunited as father and daughter long ago. Seeing me deliberately fall to the ground, Tang Xian sneered coldly. Little green tea, stop pretending. I'm here to expose your true colors. She thought my dad would blindly believe her. Yet after 3 seconds of dead silence, my dad flew into a rage. You ill-mannered thing. How could you treat Yu like that? You have no idea what's happened all these years. If you want to blame someone, blame your mother for running away with you back then. What right do you have to blame my precious daughter? I could feel my father's anger. Holding back laughter, I forced out a few tears, hugged Tang Xian's leg, and continued to pour fuel on the fire. Don't blame sister. I know sister doesn't like me, thinking I've taken what rightfully belongs to sister. I'll work hard to make sister accept me. Please don't hate me, okay? A round of insincere goodwill directly won over my dad, making him beam with joy. He picked me up with heartache and assured me, don't worry, even if Tang Xian comes back, you'll still be daddy's favorite daughter. I snuggled against my dad's cheek, crying while tucking the unlimited black card he gave me into my pocket. Tang Xian was so infuriated by my antics that she gritted her teeth, holding back the curses that were already on the tip of her tongue. I could see the thick resentment in Tang Xian's eyes. I know, this war without smoke and fire has officially begun. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you can fight 100 battles without defeat. I flexibly applied the information-gathering skills I had honed while preparing for the civil service exam and quickly pieced together Tang Xian's life story. Back then, the white moonlight ran away with the ball because she found a wealthier man to take over. As it turned out, the man was unfaithful outside, and his beloved white moonlight died of anger within a few years. Tang Xian, having no blood relation, was also driven out of the family. Upon learning that my father had become a big shot in the Beijing circle, she was determined to return to the wealthy family by claiming kinship. After her first attempt failed, she patiently bided her time, deliberately waiting until she had grown up before coming to claim her family ties. I shook my head inwardly. It seems I had underestimated Tang Xian's ambition. During this period, Tang Xian, having witnessed my cunning tactics, also began to shift her strategy. While hypocritically feigning intimacy with me on the surface, she actively attended various high-profile banquets, hoping to mingle her way into high society. I remained calm and discreetly spread the truth about her real background. If you want to compete with me, first take a good look at your own capabilities. Sure enough, with my mom and me fanning the flames, the more Tang Xian rushed to show off, the more people in our circle looked down on her. Tang Xian's mother is nothing but a gold digger who only cares about money. If her biological father hadn't made it big, Tang Xian would never have come back to claim her family. She even dreams of pushing aside Tang Yu, the real young lady of the family. It's pure wishful thinking. No one had any faith in her, and to make matters worse, she didn't even try to prove them wrong. Wearing high heels, she either trips or twists her ankle. Her lack of experience in the world leads her to say things that make people laugh as soon as she opens her mouth, and in the end, she even offends my father's business partner, leaving him in an awkward position. Even my father finds her embarrassing and tells her not to go out and make a fool of herself. But looking like a white moonlight is Tang Xian's trump card. Whenever she got into trouble, she would pitifully wipe away her tears. Who can blame me? My mother died early. I grew up with no one to rely on, and I never had the chance to go to school properly. I don't understand anything. As soon as she cried, my father's heart would soften. Take this card and use it. Whatever you want to learn, go ahead and arrange it for yourself. I will never let my daughter with Wanru suffer. Watching the money that should have been mine being divided up by Tang Xian, my mother was so anxious she was pacing in circles. Last time, I chose a husband who was short-lived and broke, causing you to suffer and die suddenly. This time, I finally managed to make you a rich second generation, hoping you could keep both the money and power in your own hands. But then a secret daughter shows up. I calmly reassured my mother, as long as I am impressive enough, I will always be the Tang family's only heir, while Tang Xian will forever remain the illegitimate daughter who can't be shown off. Stimulated by Tang Xian, the competitive spirit I developed while preparing for the civil service exam was fully awakened. A month later, I returned with a piano certificate from the Royal Academy of Music. 2 months later, I won the Global Children's Championship in Taekwondo. While my peers were still in 2nd grade, I skipped directly to 5th grade, preparing early for the high school entrance exams. My extraordinary achievements caused a huge sensation. Companies eagerly sought me out as a spokesperson, and others came specifically to collaborate with my father on educational products. Not only did my father expand his business empire, but he also gained the halo of being the father of a child prodigy. As for me, I transformed into a little charmer, winning over everyone from my grandparents down to the drivers and nannies. Finally, spurred on by my grandparents, my father waved his hand and transferred 5% of the company's shares to me. Yu is so young and already knows how to help me make money. That deserves encouragement. Starting today, you are a part of the company. Tang Xian was so consumed by jealousy that she lost control, dragging me into the bathroom with a fierce grip. Tang Yu, don't get too smug. Everything you've taken from me, I'll make you spit it all out sooner or later. I blinked my big eyes, deliberately provoking her. But, sister, you didn't even graduate from vocational school. What do you have to compete with me? I had thought Tang Xian would bully me in a fit of rage, thus giving me a chance to catch her in the wrong, but unexpectedly, after this incident, she actually became more affectionate toward me on the surface. She began to diligently learn about makeup and fashion, and even enrolled in a finishing school for socialites, as her appearance and emotional intelligence gradually improved. Surprisingly, some young masters and ladies in the circle actually became friends with her. My mother and I never would have imagined it in our wildest dreams. At the dinner party my father hosted for the Song family, old friends of our family, Tang Xian suddenly stood up. Dad, I know I can't contribute to the Tang family like Yu does, so I want to arrange a marriage with the second young master of the Song family, to unite our two powerful families and take your career to the next level. After saying that, she linked arms with the second young master, Song Lin, and shot me a disdainful glance. I saw my father give a thumbs up. Tang Xian seized the moment to push me aside. Taking my seat next to my father and whispering in his ear, Song Lin has no objections to the marriage either, but the Song family has made it clear that they want me to enter their household with the full dignity of the Tang family's eldest daughter. Once the relationship between our two families is further solidified, with Dad's capabilities, he'll surely rise to the top as the wealthiest man in no time. My father beamed with joy, praising Tang Xian in front of others for the first time. My daughter, Tang Lichuan, is truly no weakling. As long as you can marry into the Song family smoothly and secure their funding for us, you'll become the most accomplished eldest daughter of the Tang family from now on. Tang Xian covered her mouth and snickered, deliberately bumping me with her shoulder as if by accident. Oh dear, if I were to snatch away Yu's status as the eldest daughter, would she get angry? I gritted my teeth so hard they nearly shattered. Forcing myself to maintain a smile, how could that be? We're all Dad's daughters. I'm just happy if I can help Dad. Seeing Tang Xian's smug, triumphant smile, I silently clenched my fists. If Tang Xian, with her recognized status, became the Tang family's hero and had the Song family's full support behind her, killing me would be as easy as turning over her hand. My mother, on the other hand, looked even more worried and anxious. You're only 8 years old. We can't possibly have you seduce Song Lin and ruin this arranged marriage, can we? I took a deep breath, my mind racing. Mom, I can't, but another woman can. In my previous life, during the mock civil service exam interviews, I had long since learned to adapt to any situation. Based on my understanding of Song Lin, I selected several beauties that match his taste. Song Lin is just a playboy. He's not favored in the Song family, which is why he and Tang Xian are using each other. If you want to ruin the marriage alliance, you have to start with Song Lin. We found 2 innocent, delicate girls to work as assistants by Song Lin's side, and then picked 3 savvy ones to send to the nightclub to reel him in. Song Lin is also a spineless fellow, easily falling for the bait. So, as soon as my father announced the news of the marriage alliance, the paparazzi I sent to stake out the place captured photos of Song Lin checking into a hotel with a beauty, after being reprimanded. Song Lin behaved himself for less than a month before getting involved with his innocent-looking assistant. The repeated scandals left Tang Xian restless and uneasy, but aside from pressuring Song Lin and publicly bullying the innocent girl, she had no better methods. When the delicate flower Song Lin cherished was once again struck by Tang Xian, Song Lin angrily snapped with harsh words. You, an illegitimate child of questionable background, really think you're a noble young lady. You're the one begging for this marriage alliance, not me. I'd rather marry a dog than you. Tang Xian, having been struck on a sore spot, turned red-faced and began to tussle with Song Lin. For the paparazzi who had been lying in wait day and night, secretly capturing this scene and posting it online was nothing more than a trivial matter. From that point on, the arranged marriage became a complete and utter joke. The Song family believed that Tang Xian lacked propriety and had deliberately tarnished their reputation, so furious that they nearly severed ties with my father. My father was even more furious, pointing at Tang Xian's nose and scolding, "Useless thing, you can't even keep a man in check, and now billions in financing are gone just like that. You're just like your mother, only causing me trouble. What's the use of me recognizing you? I kept my achievements and reputation to myself." Secretly pleased as I looked at Tang Xian, "Little one, out of tricks now, aren't you?" Unexpectedly, at the very moment our eyes met, Tang Xian suddenly clutched her stomach and shouted, "I'm already pregnant with Song Lin's son, even without a marriage alliance. They'll invest for the sake of the child. What did you say?" Under my father's astonished gaze, Tang Xian curled the corner of her lips. "I've decided to keep the child and let it take the Tang surname, Dad. You'll soon have your only grandson." Seeing me frozen in place, unable to snap out of it for a long time, Tang Xian arrogantly leaned close to my ear. "Tang Yuyu, once my son becomes the Tang family heir, let's see how you'll compete with me." My heart instantly sank halfway. How could this be? Could it be that the heir position is like a reserved spot in a civil service exam, no matter how hard I try? Is it destined never to be my turn? A strong sense of frustration washed over me. But the next second, I suddenly put on an innocent expression and smiled. I suppressed the storm of emotions inside me and calmed down. Now the only gamble is that the child in her belly is not from the Song family. I tugged at Tang Xian's sleeve, pretending to be coquettish. "Sister, what are you talking about? What do you mean by fighting with you? Sister is pregnant with a son. I couldn't be happier for you." Tang Xian couldn't suppress her disgust toward me and pinched me hard. "Damn green tea bitch. Stop pretending. I know you must be freaking out right now. Just you wait. This is only the beginning. Before long, you and your mom will become dispensable outsiders in this family. I'm going to take back what belongs to my mom and me, and then hold it firmly in my own hands." Tang Xian's ambition is even greater than I imagined. I noticed my father watching us, ignoring her provocation. I threw myself into Tang Xian's arms, playing the role of her dear little sister. "Sis, you're amazing. This way, you can both win over the Song family and give Dad another little grandson. I also want to follow in my sister's footsteps and grow up to be someone useful to the Tang family." My father, seeing this scene, was full of praise for both of us. "With two such good daughters like you, plus my unborn grandson, our Tang family will surely become more and more glorious." This time, he didn't focus his attention on me anymore, but instead devoted all his care and concern to Tang Xian. "Tang Xian, it was Dad who wronged you. I never imagined you were so capable, actually killing two birds with one stone. With this child, the Song family will be forever bound to our Tang family. All you need to do now is focus on taking good care of yourself during the pregnancy. Don't worry about anything else." At this moment, thanks to the sudden news of her pregnancy, Tang Xian became the daughter my father was most proud of. Seeing that my father had already started to place importance on the child in Tang Xian's womb, my mom was practically on the verge of a breakdown. She had calculated every possible scenario, but she never expected Tang Xian to be so ruthless, directly giving birth to a grandson to replace me as the heir. The key is that Tang Xian isn't carrying some random guy's child, but a legitimate member of the Song family, leaving us with nothing to say. As she counted her little stash of savings, tears silently streamed down her face. Could what the King of Hell said be true? Is Tang Xian, that illegitimate daughter, destined to take everything that belongs to you? Fortunately, over the years, I've managed to save up a small fortune of a few $100 million, even if you can't become the Tang family's heir. At least you won't be crushed to death like in your past life." Seeing my mother so dejected, I forced myself to calm down, gritted my teeth, and stood up. I refused to accept this. I deliberately didn't drink the mengpa soup, also I could change our fate after reincarnation. Song Lin has no feelings for Tang Xian at all. I simply don't believe she could get pregnant so quickly. There must be something fishy going on. After much contemplation, I carefully crafted a message to Song Lin. "Brother Song Lin, congratulations on becoming a father soon. You've watched me grow up since I was little. You're my dearest brother. And now you've married my sister and have a little baby on the way. From now on, you and you will truly be a family. I feel so happy." Song Lin called the very next second. "What do you mean by this text? What do you mean I'm going to be a father? I won't marry that cheap sister of yours. How could I possibly be interested in her?" I don't even want to touch her hand, I foolishly retorted, but my sister said she's pregnant with your child, and it's a boy. You must really love my sister to have a baby with her. Could it be that my sister lied to me? Woo woo. Then can I still become part of Song Lin's family? Who would doubt the sincerity of an 8-year-old child? Song Lin didn't suspect me of having any ill intentions at all. In fact, he even had a pang of conscience and ended up comforting me instead. Yu. Don't be fooled by that wicked woman Tang Xian. You genuinely treat her like a sister, but she doesn't see you as a sister at all. Let me be straight with you. The only reason she wants to marry into my family is to compete with you for the family inheritance. Stop being so naive and kind to her. After casually betraying Tang Xian, Song Lin could no longer hold back his pent-up resentment. That bitch Tang Xian, to tie me down, she really dares to say any lie. If this gets out, how can I ever show my face in this circle again? Song Lin, that useless second-generation rich kid, really can't hold his temper at all. Early the next morning, he barged into the Tang family home and slapped Tang Xian right in the face. I haven't even kissed Tang Xian's lips. Who the hell knows whose child she's carrying? Seeing my dad spit out a mouthful of hot tea, I smiled. The show was about to begin. After the initial shock, my dad was so furious he started hopping on the spot. Song Lin, are you suggesting my daughter would try to trap you? She's only ever had you as a boyfriend. Don't you dare try to weasel out of this. Tang Xian never expected Song Lin to come barging in directly, her face instantly changing color. You, how do you know about this? Who told you? As soon as she finished speaking, she instinctively glared at me. Tang Yu, was this your doing? You are a daughter of the Tang family after all. Whose side are you on? I calmly held my cup and sipped my milk, deliberately stirring the pot. Sister, I don't understand what you're talking about, but what did Brother Song Lin mean by what he just said? I gave my mom a meaningful look, and she immediately stepped forward to add fuel to the fire. Song Lin, although Tang Xian is not my biological daughter, I won't allow anyone to bully her. Even if you two don't get married, you got Tang Xian pregnant, so you are the child's father. Your Song family must take responsibility for this child. As soon as my mom said that, Song Lin became even more furious. He immediately started yelling at Tang Xian. Tang Xian, we never even slept together. You know perfectly well whose child that is. Who knows if you've been messing around with some shady man and got pregnant, then tried to pin it on me. No wonder everyone says you're a low-class scumbag. How is your behavior any different from your mother's back in the day? But I'm no fool. You have the nerve to meddle in my private life. Take a look at the mess you've become yourself. Song Lin's wild accusations hit my dad right where it hurt. After all, Tang Xian's mother had abandoned my dad back then to find someone else to take the fall. My dad's face turned green with anger. Song Lin, you have to explain this to me clearly. You can't slander my daughter. After speaking, he looked at Tang Xian with suspicion. Is what Song Lin said true? Have you two really not even held hands? Watching Tang Xian's face turn red and then pale, stammering but unable to speak, Song Lin spoke without restraint, revealing all of Tang Xian's sinister and scheming intentions. Uncle, don't be fooled by Tang Xian. She only agreed to marry me to compete with Yu for favor. Her ultimate goal is to become the heir and drive Yu and her mother out. She's not doing this for your business, nor for the Tang family. She's doing all this just to satisfy her own selfish desires. As soon as Song Lin finished speaking, I immediately burst into tears. Sis, you still hate me so much. Why? What did I do wrong? Afraid the scene wasn't chaotic enough, I clung to Tang Xian's leg and started wailing at the top of my lungs. My dad was completely overwhelmed by the barrage of sudden news. He clutched his chest, struggling to breathe, looking like he was about to have a stroke from anger. Tang Xian, you are simply too absurd. This chaotic scene finally made Song Lin feel that he had thoroughly vented his pent-up anger. Seeing the suppressed, amused smile at the corner of my mouth, Tang Xian, who had been silent all along, suddenly erupted. She pushed me aside and pointed at Song Lin's nose, shouting angrily, we may not have slept together, but that doesn't mean this child isn't yours. If it comes to it, when the baby is further along, I'll get a paternity test. The Song family will have to acknowledge this child, whether they want to or not. Song Lin wore an expression as if he had seen a ghost. Tang Xian, have you lost your mind? You should go get your head checked. Just as Song Lin was about to continue mocking her, Tang Xian gritted her teeth and, with no other choice, revealed this shocking secret. because this child was conceived through IVF, using sperm I extracted from you. I knew Tang Xian was ruthless, but I never imagined she could be this vicious. This bombshell was dropped. And my father was so enraged he fainted on the spot. My mother frantically called for an ambulance while summoning the butler to perform first aid on my father. After all, the will hasn't been made yet. If my dad just passes away like this, Tang Xian will automatically take away the property that belongs to me. Song Lin was also completely stunned. Tang Xian, have you gone mad? You didn't go through my trash, looking for the used condoms I threw away, and then, at this point, Tang Xian no longer bothered to hide it. She stroked her belly, her tone haughty and proud. Yes, that's right, exactly. I've known for a long time that you're a man who can't control his lower half. So I planned from the start to extract your sperm and conceive a child of the Song family, if you were smart. We could have used this child to secure more resources and power for you in the Song family, and I could have firmly held my position as the Tang family heir, but you're just a fool, since you can't be relied on. Get out of my way and don't interfere with my ambitions. After saying that, she kicked me contemptuously. Tang Yu, stop pretending. I know it must have been you who tipped off Song Lin and had him come here to expose me. Unfortunately, no matter how clever you are, you're still an 8-year-old brat. I'll give that line right back to you. If you can't even have a child, what do you have to compete with me? While my father was unconscious, Tang Xian also dropped the act, looking as if the position of heir was already within her grasp. She even pushed my mother aside and forced her way to my father's side. The process doesn't matter. What matters is the outcome. My dad will soon understand my good intentions, and he won't blame me. I suppressed the anger in my heart and exchanged a glance with my mother. Fine, just let you be arrogant a little longer. Soon, I'll let you experience what it means to kill with a borrowed knife. I told my mom to stay calm and stay by my dad's side, not giving Tang Xian any opportunity to take advantage. While they were all away, I deliberately pulled Song Lin aside and guided him. Brother Song Lin, do you want this child? If it's really born, won't you be unable to date pretty girls anymore? And won't you feel even more looked down upon at home? I immediately hit Song Lin's sore spot. Still in shock, Song Lin slammed the table and stood up. If she really gives birth to this child, I really won't be able to face anyone. My parents will say I'm a failure. I already have so little in my hands. What if that damn child takes it away? In wealthy families, everyone is a selfish and cunning person. Song Lin, being young and hot-blooded, naturally refused to be held back by Tang Xian. I sighed, pretending to feel sorry for Song Lin. It's a pity that my brother is still too kind-hearted, unlike my sister, who knows how to find the media and paparazzi to speak ill of him and ruin his reputation. In the corner of my eye, Song Lin was indeed both flushed with anger and suddenly enlightened. You've reminded me, you're truly a genius. Does she, Tang Xian, think she's the only one who can use media resources? I can too. Since this matter has already become so ugly, I don't mind making it even uglier. Seeing Song Lin rush off to contact the media to break the news, I felt reassured. After all, I am nominally a member of the Tang family, and the Tang family scandals should never be exposed by me, no matter what. But if it was Song Lin who did it, that would be different. Not only would Tang Xian further embarrass my father, but the relationship between the Tang and Song families would also become as hostile as fire and water. At that point, whether this child can even be born would still be a question. Media outlets that are keen on reporting gossip about wealthy families quickly followed up. In less than an hour, the scandal about Tang Xian stealing Song Lin's sperm in an attempt to secure her position with a child became the top trending topic. My father had just opened his eyes. The butler immediately brought the news to him. 3 seconds later, my dad couldn't catch his breath, rolled his eyes back, and passed out again. My little face fell, and I threw myself at my dad's bedside. Dad, are you okay? Dad, wake up quickly. I pretended to be a loving daughter here, wailing and crying my heart out. Tang Xian angrily yanked me up. Tang Yu, stop pretending. I know it was all you're doing. Her eyes blazed with fury, as if she wanted to tear me apart on the spot. If you expose the Tang family scandal, Dad won't let you off either. If anything happens to me, you'll be in trouble too. I kept in mind the principle from the civil service exam interview. No matter what unexpected situation arises, one must remain calm and composed. So I continued to maintain the innocent look of an 8-year-old child, but my words were laced with venom. Tang Xian, do you have a persecution complex? It was clearly Song Lin who couldn't take it anymore and spilled the beans. What does that have to do with me? Brother Song Lin also said, if you don't want to be laughed at, then don't do anything shameful. I even pointed at her belly on purpose. Now look at you, you could have been the Tang family's hero and future heir. But instead you've become a laughingstock everyone mocks. Not only does the Song family want you to get rid of it, but I bet even my dad won't want to keep this child once he wakes up. Tang Xian's face turned ashen as she covered her ears and screamed, impossible. Tang Yuyu, don't get too smug. Too much had happened in a single day, and Tang Xian, provoked by me, had an emotional breakdown, raising her hand to slap me. But her hand never landed. A furious roar erupted from the hospital bed. Tang Xian, what are you trying to do to Yuyu? Tang Xian's hand froze in midair. I burst into tears and threw myself at my father's side. Dad, it's good that you're awake. Yuyu was worried sick. Dad, please don't be angry with sister anymore. She's had a hard time too. If hitting me can help her vent her bad emotions, just let her do it. Tang Yuyu, you bitch. Tang Xian's eyes were red with anger, but my father firmly shielded me, cursing at Tang Xian, enough. Do you think things aren't chaotic enough already? You become a disgrace to the Tang family, making me the laughingstock for being ruthless. Yuyu has always been the pride of the Tang family, and she's the one who will restore our reputation in the future. How dare you even think of harming her? My father slammed his fist on the bedside table, sighing in frustration. Before you came back, the Tang family was always smooth sailing, but ever since you returned, one scandal after another has plagued us, you useless piece of trash. If it weren't for the lingering image of your mother in my heart, you'd be nothing. Perhaps it was the hormonal fluctuations from pregnancy, or perhaps Tang Xian was stung by my father's favoritism. This time, she didn't hold back her anger, and the long-standing resentment within her erupted completely in that moment. Why are you so biased? I'm your biological daughter too, and I'm the daughter of the woman you loved most. Tang Xian glared at me with resentment, still ranting on and on. I was naturally conceived by my mom, far better than this little bastard from a test tube. Everything I've done was to help you, to bring honor to the Tang family. Instead of supporting me, you actually say I'm embarrassing. No wonder my mom ran away with me back then. If I were her, I'd run too. Seeing Tang Xian still unable to keep her composure, the heavy stone in my heart also settled. This war without smoke and fire. I am about to achieve a great victory very soon. My father was so angry that he jumped right out of his sickbed, pointing at Tang Xian's nose and giving her a good scolding. Your mother was so money hungry back then, she abandoned me for another man. She's no good either. It's my fault for being such a fool. I knew a woman like that couldn't produce anything decent, yet I still brought you home. If you didn't look like that woman, you'd be nothing in the Tang family. Get out. I'll settle the score with you later for embarrassing the Tang family. Before Tang Xian could speak, the bodyguards who rushed into the hospital room immediately dragged Tang Xian away. After my father's anger had subsided, my mother made a timely entrance, charming him with her gentle and understanding demeanor. I stayed by their side, playing the role of the considerate and warm-hearted daughter I was best at. My grandparents, who had hurried over, also joined my side, continuously condemning Tang Xian and her mother. Sure enough, after all the coaxing, my dad sighed repeatedly. After all, it's your own wife and daughter who are the most reliable. I shouldn't have had any expectations for Tang Xian. From now on, the Tang family will have to rely on Yuyu. My mom sniffled and began wiping the corner of her eye. Husband, I'm glad you're willing to think this way. Before, when you said you wanted Tang Xian's child to be the heir, I was already planning to send Yuyu abroad. Anyway, she can't compete with Tang Xian, so it's better to let her study hard and live the life she wants. My dad got anxious. That won't do. Yuyu is our Tang family's precious treasure. You worked so hard to give me a genius. How could I ever treat you poorly? Perhaps feeling that Tang Xian was truly unreliable, and also thinking they had neglected me during this period. After discussing with my grandparents, my father transferred another 5% of the company's shares to me, while also giving my mother an executive title in the company. In the future, I'll only feel at ease handing over the Tang family's business to Yuyu. After sweetly expressing my thanks, I confidently stepped forward. Dad, let me take the lead on this public relations effort. Consider it an opportunity for me to gain some early experience. Don't worry, I'll definitely give you a satisfactory outcome. Seeing me take such initiative and step up to help Tang Xian clean up the mess, my father felt even more relieved. He had no idea that over the years, my mother had spent a lot of money to manage the media, and getting them to speak well of the Tang family was just a matter of a phone call. In the official statement, the Tang family claimed that this was all Tang Xian's personal actions and had nothing to do with the Tang family. In the future, the Tang and Song families will continue to maintain a good cooperative relationship. As for the trouble caused to the Song family, I, as the eldest daughter of the Tang family, have stepped forward to apologize. After negotiations with the Song family, we jointly released a statement, saying that the matter of this child was completely fabricated and a malicious rumor. I took it a step further, directly erasing the existence of Tang Xian's child from the root. The first thing my father did after being discharged from the hospital was to tell Tang Xian to get an abortion. How long are you going to keep this joke going? Before your belly gets any bigger, go and get rid of the child. If you behave yourself from now on, I'll pretend this never happened. But if you keep making trouble, don't blame me for being ruthless. Tang Xian tried everything, crying, making a scene, even threatening suicide. But in the end, she had no choice but to face the facts. Little did I expect that the IVF procedure had already taken a toll on her health. After the abortion, Tang Xian was severely weakened and fell seriously ill. Unable to get out of bed, my father arranged for her to stay in a convalescent home to recuperate, telling her not to come back and be a nuisance. Song Lin breathed a sigh of relief and came to apologize to me as well. I shouldn't have collaborated with Tang Xian. I almost harmed your interests. I owe you a favor. So if you ever need anything in the future, just say the word. While Tang Xian was away, I continued to win over various factions within the Tang family. Eventually, I secured 3 major project contracts for the Tang family with a national mathematics competition award, and in the process, gained an additional 5% of the company's shares. Meanwhile, Tang Xian recovered from her illness and threw tantrums, crying and demanding to return home. My mother then whispered in my father's ear every day, warning him that Tang Xian would bring endless trouble. Frightened by this, my father promptly packed Tang Xian off and sent her abroad. You should go out and learn something, broaden your horizons, come back only when you're presentable and won't embarrass me anymore. Once, Tang Xian tried to push me out, wanting to make me an outsider in the Tang family. Now, facing me, who achieved fame and success at the age of 9, she could only hang her head in defeat and obediently go abroad. After all, if she didn't listen, she wouldn't even be able to enjoy the last bit of good days she had left. Later, I heard that Tang Xian couldn't adapt to life abroad, couldn't learn English, and couldn't do anything right. She quickly fell in with a group of bad influences she met and spent her days drinking and hanging out in bars. My father, seeing her so useless, was completely disappointed in her and directly removed her from the Tang family. Now that my father is old, his oligospermia has turned into azoospermia. The carrot pit of being the sole heir to the Tang family has finally been filled by me, so I took my mother and went to burn trillions of hell notes for the king of hell again. I must maintain this valuable connection in the underworld, then continue being a workaholic in the mortal world. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.